but it's inside already a severe thunderstorm warning. So you can already see pretty much the southeastern corner of our viewing area, except for Robinson. Really, we're seeing all that in Crawford County, staying out of the warnings as of right now. But these storms are heading this way. Again, once we get these storms out of here, we're going to say goodbye to our severe weather chances for the day. The problem is they're moving in as people are going to work, going to school. Some schools like Tolono Unity have already had some issues this morning, and Tolono itself have already had some problems too. But you can already see that we've had some power outages across the region. That's because these winds have been so strong with these thunderstorms. And let's get a closer zoom in of where this is. Again, we've zoomed in Hidalgo, Gila, all the way down to Falmouth, Newton, Latonia, and even out towards Elliottstown, just outside of Dietrich, too, on the edge of town. This still goes into roughly about the 6 o'clock, or into our 6 o'clock hour, 6:30 in the morning. So Cumberland, Effingham, and Jasper County, again, still could see some hail with that, too. And this is all within the same severe thunderstorm warning that does include Clay, Cumberland, Effingham, and Jasper County. So these storms are kind of these embedded rotations, which we've been watching for all morning long, hours ago, too. As we were wrapping up these storms, they started to fade out, and now they're picking up steam again. You can see it stretches all the way from basically Edgar County all the way down, even outside of our viewing area too. That is where that kind of wall of storms have been, and we're watching for those little spin ups to occur. We've got one right there though that we've been focusing for our tornado warning. So we're not the only spot seeing severe weather in that tornado warning area, but we're still kind of broadening it out just to show that it is a wide swath. We've had power outages already there in Mattoon and into Gaze and Cooks Mill. So just keep that in mind. That's why we're saying wall to wall, because it's early in the morning. Folks are going to work or going to school or going to grocery shopping, whatever it may be. They're starting their day, and usually we don't have tornado warnings this early in the day. That's why we want to really focus in on that. Jacob, what else do you have to add?
Yeah, so again, kind of with what we're doing here with this tornado warning that Adam's been looking at, there's just a very small area, and you know, it's early, but it's kind of the leftovers of last night's system moving on through that one tornado warning. This is the only area of this tornado watch that goes until 11 a.m. It will not last until 11 a.m. though. We're talking Edgar County, Coles, Cumberland, Effingham counties, Jasper, Crawford, and Clark counties included in that there. And that's going to be limited to basically along and ahead of this line of storms. We probably are done by 7:30. The way things are here. So that's what we are. Champaign, Springfield, Decatur, we are fine. Danville, we are fine. This does not include you. And so that's something that we are continuing to monitor closely, is just this last little sliver. This one little area has the warmth and the instability. We look at temperatures here, down to 62 in Effingham, the rain falling there, still 69 in Paris, and there's still some upper 60s, low 70s in this last little slice here. Once we hit those 50s, we are done with severe weather. It's also where those dew point values are up a little bit, seeing some of those mid 60s down there, just that last little sliver of instability, which is why that tornado watch was issued for that particular area. I have no concerns for I-72, I-74, I-55. We're limited to the south and east part of the area. We do know that this storm has had a 67 mile per hour wind gust in Clay County now in the Xenia area, also a 66 mile per hour wind gust reported in the Marion County area at the Salem Airport. And so not only are we seeing this tornado potential, but also seeing some strong winds with that here. And they're extending that severe thunderstorm warning now, but we want to focus in on this tornado warning here that's moving on through the area. So we're looking south of Dietrich here and kind of watching things closely. This also includes parts of southeastern Cumberland County. And so that's what we'll be keeping a close eye on here. What we're looking at is the rotation is in an area that's a little hard to make out. And the reason for that is our radar beam is so far away, we're kind of bouncing between them here. I would be inclined to believe that maybe the rotation has come down a little bit. So this could be a short fuse tornado warning. However, I don't want to let our guard down here, because this does include a part of our area. I can give an all clear for Effingham County now. I think it's firmly into Jasper County, but Cumberland County, the tornado warning does continue there, and that's what we're going to monitor. But looking at it here from where we sat maybe 5 minutes ago, Adam, you can kind of see where that rotation picked up there near Eberly, south and east of Elliottstown, and then in the last few minutes, it seems like it's maybe broadened out, but that tornado warning does go until 6:30, and so we're going to watch that closely here. So we'll keep you updated on this as it moves on through. Just trying to get some more information. There also is a number of power outages that are reported here, and we'll pull up the Skycam. Maybe this we can take full. This Skycam here is going to be our Mattoon Skycam. And there we go. It's looking to, are we looking to the east there now, Adam? Did that get turned?
I'm not sure. I have not touched
Let's see here. Let me see if I can fix that. I can't tell if it's that or if the lights came back on because go ahead and bring this full if you can, max 2, and that way we could just kind of look at that there.
It's facing to the south.
It's facing south. Okay, we turn it back to the west here, and the lights are off in Mattoon, so there's been some power outages as well in that area. Go ahead and bring max 2 full, please. There we go. That way we can really see that there. So this is looking at the railroad bridge where the traffic is driving, and the lights are off. It's dark on the west side of town. We also know of power outages in the Unity Tolono area. There's been some power outages causing, let's see, we're getting some information confirmed about updates to the school district there and what their plans are for the day. Sedorus is out of power, Tolono out of power. We've had power outages in Pasodum and places like that, and then some wind damage being reported in the Cooks Mill area here. Storm sirens are going off countywide in Cumberland County right now, getting some messages about that. Neoga, this does not include you, though, and that is, let's see here. That is because Cumberland County operates on a countywide system where the sirens go off for everyone if a part of the county is. You look at the map there at Storm Tracker Doppler, and a part of Cumberland County is included in that warning. We also do have some concerns that there may be some other areas trying to spin up. It's not very strong. Our radar signal is not great. You kind of see these little greens in there. We're bouncing between radars to see what's going on, and I don't trust that data towards Westfield, Kansas, Paris here. There's probably some wind in there. 40 to 50 mile per hour gusts, maybe a little higher than that. The rotation now to me actually becoming a little more pronounced here near Hidalgo, south and east of Greenup. And if we can get this another 3 to 5 minutes and cross this out of the polygon and into Clark County, we'll resume back to the newscast. This might be a short fuse situation for us. And that's good news because we don't want to take more time away from this, but we do want to make sure folks are aware of the situation. So here we are. Here's those reds and those greens coming together. Looks like maybe east of 130 stands out to me, crossing Illinois 49. Hazeldale coming your way. Greenup going to be close, but to your south there, but I suspect there's still some wind in that area. Effingham County is all clear, and that's what we have with this particular storm there. So a lot of things going on with this morning. We kind of had to play this game, Adam, where, you know, it seemed like we were monitoring how things would go, just a little instability, and National Weather Service says they are indicating a tornado on radar from that there in southeastern Cumberland County, which will continue that warning for at least a few more minutes. We'll get an idea pretty quickly what they do as this moves towards Granville, and then really we just got to get this warning here past Casey, and we'll toss it off to our friends at WTWO and Terre Haute to take care of that warning from that point. So we may not have much longer, but there still is a circulation showing up right in here. You can see this little notch that's in Granville here. And as I bring this in, what I think is happening, and Adam, you'll confer with me here in a second, I think we're seeing that little inflow notch there and maybe kind of seeing that come out right in this area. So this is where that circulation is. Really, Adam? I'll send it over to you, but I don't think we have a whole lot more time for this warning to be in our viewing area. Is that right?
Yeah, that's really on the edge of our viewing area. I want to kind of give a broad view because folks are probably wondering, why are we breaking in? Why are we talking about a tornado warning? It's all the way down here. Well, it's a wide swath of storms, and we've been seeing storms all over the region. If you're in places like, well, let's say Willington Normal, which usually doesn't get us, or up towards Ford, Iroquois County, you're getting rainfall right now. Springfield, also not seeing too much. Champaign, we're just seeing a few light showers outside of town, to St. Joe, all the way to Danville. Again, the bulk of this is in the southeastern corners of our viewing area, closer to where that tornado watch is. And again, once we get these storms out of here, we're going to resume coverage as normal. And also, we're going to see that the tornado watch will start coming to a close. That's great news. Again, this is not going to be an all-morning event, but folks are getting ready to go to school. They're going to work. They're going traveling for a business trip, wherever it may be. A lot of folks start to move once it gets past 6, 7, 8 o'clock. And we want to let people know that, especially in the southeast corners of our viewing area, from basically Effingham and 57 all the way to the state line, what's happening, because you're probably going to run into some spots where it's a little dark still. It's still early in the morning. We've had the time change, and we've got these storms coming through. So here's a wider picture. You can see stretching all the way from Lafayette all the way down towards Effingham through 57. This is the area we're kind of focusing on. It is just in the corner of our viewing area. It's already moved past Charleston and Mattoon. We showed that camera earlier that showed, yeah, we had some power outages there in Mattoon. Gaze also another spot that lost some power too, and Cooks Mills. And then those aren't the only spots. Even Tolono having some issues there in Champaign County with power. A lot of folks have been saying, hey, we've got power outages. That's what we were talking about earlier this morning before we went on air. We have severe thunderstorm warnings embedded within that tornado warning. We could probably see, we're just watching these little circulations. These happen all the time. You can already see that we have that tornado warning in effect. That is until Wednesday, radar indicated, so nothing is confirmed just yet, but we want to make sure that we're getting people kind of aware what's going on. These are still potent thunderstorms, strong wind gusts with these already, even before we had these tornado warnings and severe thunderstorm warnings. We had some gusty conditions come out of them. We could see 1-inch size hail with some of these thunderstorms too as well, closer towards a little bit on the backside of that. And again, we're watching these little notches here of these storms as they come through. Further northward towards Paris, Marshall, Salone, and Kansas, we're still having that severe thunderstorm warning. And so we're going to keep that going for 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. Again, these are potent storms as they move through the region. As Jacob was showing, we're watching for these little notches. There's one right there by Granville. That's the one we're kind of focusing on, as that's why we have the tornado warning. And again, there could be some smaller ones embedded there as well. They're very small little circulations, but they can be very quick, and they can be very kind of hard to catch. We could miss them here or there, so we want to be on top of them already. That's all the rainfall we're expecting beyond our forecast. Jacob, back over to you.
Yeah, so Adam's going to have more on the forecast coming up here in a little bit. I think we've got maybe 5 more minutes for this tornado warning before it heads into parts of Clark County, and that's when we pass that off to our sister station. But we'll continue digital coverage. I'll start to get kind of prepped for that maybe as well, and we'll see how that goes here. But kind of watching this little tornado warning here. Still severe thunderstorm warning for Fayette County. It's lingering there. I think Fayette and Effingham County are all clear. And remember, everyone on I-72, everyone on I-74, everyone on I-55 are all clear here. This last little piece of instability is enough to pull that tornado warning there. Strong winds coming into Paris, strong winds coming into Casey and Westfield, the southeastern corner of Cumberland County where this developing tornado is here. And we'll kind of focus on that. But we just got to get it across the line here, even though that warning goes until the 6:30 for the tornado warning. It is 6:11 right now, so not much time here, but it's going to be right here near Hazel Dell. Hazel Dell is Cumberland County. That's our county, our responsibility, and so it's moving very close. And once it gets past here, it's going to go by Moonshine, by the burger place there here, continue in that direction. We don't have a whole lot more time here, and so we'll be ready to toss to a break in a minute because I think that circulation is getting ready to exit. We're going to get an update here in a second on radar, but you can kind of see this backwards S shape here. Actually, it looks more forward S. That's a sign there's circulation. And then looking at the reds and the greens, this is where that circulation is. So Hazel Dell, Shelter. We're going to keep an eye on Moonshine. We're going to keep an eye on Casey and southern Clark County, but monitoring this tornado warning. Southeastern Cumberland County, this includes you, which is why we're watching here. Just checking to get some more information. Still got some reports of power outage. There's that new update. Again, it's carrying it off here. So what we'll do is we'll plan here in a couple of minutes to toss to break. We'll give it one more radar update. That should carry us to about 6:16 or so. Send it back to break, and then let the newscast continue with periodic updates from Adam. But we're just kind of watching things here. Looked the strongest it did maybe a minute ago or so, but there still is something right here, just about a mile south of Hazel Dell is where that sticks out. This right here is some strong inflow winds coming in, and you've got the wind coming in the backside in the rain. That circulation on the leading edge here on Illinois 49, now just to the south of Hazel Dell, and the next radar frame will carry this into Clark County. So I think that's going to be our plan here. And we'll see if the National Weather Service updates us as well. Looking farther to the north, just checking, Chrisman, Paris, maybe up to Georgetown, Ridge Farm. Looks like some spots of strong wind gusts there. You see those brighter colors here? I'm using the Indy radar, and so we're seeing some of that come down US 36 there. Doesn't look overly intense, but if you have reports, let us know. And I'll check the chat real quick as well. We are just kind of looking to make sure here if there's anything going on. Don't see many reports coming on in from those areas. That's some good news for us. And then further to the south as we switch, again, that's where that circulation is. And the good news about this morning is that we are not looking at tornadoes like what happened up in the Kankakee area. The Kankakee area tornadoes were violent tornadoes. These are those more spin-up tornadoes. They form really quickly, but they also weaken really quickly. There's just enough of that shear, just enough of that instability where this is causing tornado warning for us this morning in southeastern Cumberland County. So we'll carry it through. We'll get it along, and in maybe the next 2-3 minutes, Adam, we may wind this down. Just depends on what that next radar frame is. I just want to carry this across and out of Cumberland County so we can give Cumberland County the all clear before that happens there. But there's that circulation. I'll just check. We like to just periodically look at the debris signature. I doubt there's one there. One of the reasons, I don't think these types of tornadoes would loft debris high enough where our radar would see that. Number two, I'm not sure there is a tornado at this point. It is strong rotation. I've not had any reports, but we do know that the strong winds are in place regardless of this in the area. We've had 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts reported with these storms as they continue off here. And you can kind of make out some of those stronger colors even further to the south there, which is why we will monitor that there. So I have not seen any new reports, Adam. I've got some folks saying the wind's pretty strong out there. We've had power outages. Ameren reports over 10,000 customers in our area out of power, which is a fairly high number because we've got some bigger cities that are experiencing those power outages. So, Adam, let's get you one more update from you here and to tell us what you're looking at.
Yeah, we're going to see that we have right now just a kind of a swath of showers and storms. And you're probably thinking if you're out in Springfield, you're out in Decatur. First of all, Decatur does have that flash flood warning from storms earlier this morning, so you might run into that as you're traveling. But outside of that, you're not seeing any more severe weather. Champagne's done for now. Might see a few more raindrops and maybe even out towards Danville. Not as intense as it was earlier. These are the last lines of thunderstorms already on the other side of 57. They're starting to move a little bit more and finally get on out of here. Once they're out of here, we're done talking about severe weather. We're talking about garden variety showers and thunderstorms that you would see on any given spring day, with the chance for thunderstorms staying sub-severe. But this is a wide swath of warning stretching all the way from Edgar County all the way southward towards 64 down there outside of our viewing area. So this is a wide swath of storms, and it's just been eating up that instability that wasn't tapped into overnight. So keep that in mind. We're still watching that tornado warning just in case something happens. But the good news is we're not seeing as much. We're not seeing it. There it is. It's actually gone now, which is great news for us. Got the thumbs up from Jacob. He's excited about that. And we like to see the warnings go away. But we still have these severe thunderstorm warnings we still want to talk about because those are strong wind gusts up to 60 mile per hour. That could still cause some problems. Has knocked out the power in some locations. Jacob, back to you.
Yeah. So real quick here, we're actually going to toss back to break because the tornado ring's gone. They've canceled it, which is great news here. There still are strong winds, and there's that tornado watch here for parts of the southeastern area. So coming up during the rest of the 6 o'clock hour, Adam's going to have forecast updates, and we'll both be here in case there are any more warnings. But I tend to think that we're going to be done here sooner than later. So more weather and news on the morning show coming up after this.